Welcome to my little program here that takes care of some of the menial tasks associated with creating construction drawings. Here you'll see that I'm setting up the address here for the drive to directions that will be gathered and sourced later on. I'm just going to save those options back down to the file, select California. I'm going to look over the options, make sure everything I've got is what I want in the batch processing area there. This is for Google Maps. And here's the source data. We're going to add some sites to work with here. I'm just going to do a short set here. I think there's about 8 or 10 sites here. But this will work with as many sites as I want. I'm going to start with getting the initial Google data. This will gather the closest address to the latitude and longitude, convert latitude and longitude into decimal degrees, minutes, seconds, get an elevation for the site. And then we're going to go to the batch process, and this is going to start running all the sub functions that I selected earlier, one after the other. Here we have magnetic declination, useful for setting the azimuths correctly on your antennas. Notice that I have added some site information to the web page so that when it is printed out to PDF we have some idea of what site this belongs to at a glance. We're going to speed up through the remaining 7 sites here. And this is just to show the nature of the program. You'll see that site number, latitude, longitude, address, site elevation, and the magnetic declination of the site is listed on there. And now we're going to move to a Topo Map, which is useful for getting the surrounding topographic data for the project you're working on. And over here on the folder section you can see where the files are being added to the directory as they are being collected, and both a URL shortcut so that you can get back to the source data and a PDF so that you can view the data quickly without need for an internet connection. And like I said, most of the PDF data has extra information. Alright, wind speeds. This is good for getting information on the wind speed so you can tell what your tower is going to need as far as strengthening, if it's going to be able to stand up to the new equipment and the expected wind for the area. This is used a lot in Florida. It's a lot of coastal land, a lot of flat land. But as you can see, there is also extra information gathered and printed onto these sites for the wind speed also. And this is just going to zoom right through the rest of them. We've seen one in action, so we know what's going on. Next is the FCC tower search, antenna structure registration rather. This will search for a tower within the given radius. I've provided a 1 mile radius for this time. There's not going to be many results except for the last site has a tower near it. So basically we're going to see just what gets printed out when there's no site found, no tower found for the site. But we will be diligent and search all the sites anyways. Like I said, there was one site at the very end that has a tower located closely to it. And this information will have, who owns the tower, where the tower is located, the tower elevation above mean sea level, some history on who's owned the tower, what's been going on with the tower. And usually if you're going on an existing tower, this will find the tower you're going on and give you some information about your site in particular. And as you can see here also, there is extra site information added to this page. When a good result is found, I replace some of the data on the website with a target from the distance. Alright, and here's Google Maps. We're going to gather all our Google Maps. For this selection, I've selected closest towers, closest address, and the supplied GPS, latitude and longitude. So we'll be gathering 3 series of maps here. One close-up detail satellite view, an area map, it's a road map, and then lastly a wider area map showing the general location within the city of where the site is. And next is the drive to directions. There's a lot of information packed in here. Each of those is underlined and highlighted. Text is links to a web page. You saw on the last one there that the FCC tower was added to the drive to directions. This is just gathering all the data that I've been provided, and I have resourced and put it into one spreadsheet. You'll see that each column is sortable, and this will be the master location of all the gathered data that has been procured for the site. And just here's the wide range of data that is collected. You can see that there are links to web pages within the data. Next, we're going to show some Google Earth. Here is Google Earth per site. This will just be one site and some gathered information included in the location tab. And then we're going to move over to all of the sites. And this is just 8 for this small demo, but it doesn't matter how big the site size of the project is. I can list all the sites and provide extra information. We're just going to go here to the one that does have an FCC tower, and you can see that the number is located there and how far away it is from our GPS location. You can see that the wind speed data is also included here. And now we're going to move on to actually putting this data into the drawings. This is going to set up our title block with the site number, the site name, the address, and for this particular project, what kind of pole type it is and whether it's existing or new. And you can see it's simply a find and replace. But it is automated so that it is hands-free. And next we're going to move on to the actual CD drawing set. This we're going to put a little more into. We're going to open up a specific set of standards. For this site, we're using a new wood utility pole, so we're selecting a new wood utility pole standards to set this drawing up in. And we've just XREF'd the border and changed it to a relative path, and now we're going to use those maps that Google's gathered earlier, and there is extra information specific to the site on top of those Google Maps. And now we are setting down a geographical map. This particular project needed some GIS, some tracing of landmarks and features. So I'm going to go ahead and set a map in so that when I start the drawing I can just jump right into tracing out what I need and jump right into project design. And here is the map, and now we're going to zoom out to where the actual site is. That little red marker there is where the actual GPS location is for our project site. And as you can see on the folders area over there, you can see the XREF title block drawing is now in the site, and shortly within the directory will also be the drawing set, but it will have all its information set up. It has the maps set up in there, and it has the site laid out so that I can simply open the drawing and jump right into designing the site. And here you can see another find and replace driven system to put in the site specific data. But now we are already done with it, so we're going to save it, and you'll see it pop up in our project directory, and you can see the full list of data we've gathered there. It's quite a large list, and it was done in relatively little time. So the rest of the video is going to be just a couple exercises, so you can see that this is repetitive, hands-free, and it can process any number of sites that you need. And this cuts down a lot of time on project design, a lot of time that's spent looking up information, which isn't the most fun or productive way to spend your money on design processes. You know, gathering information isn't that hard, and what we want to concentrate on is the project design, because that's what's important. So I appreciate you viewing this. I hope you found it interesting. And like I said, this will not be going through all 8 sites. This is just a few here in a row.